Oh, Skull and Bones. Skull and Bones was announced what feels like centuries ago. Off the back of Assassin's Creed Black Flag, Ubisoft announced Skull and Bones, a multiplayer pirate game which, after the success of Black Flag's piratey ways, everyone was rightly excited for it. Over 10 years of delays, we are finally here with the final product. And well, if you've been paying attention to any forms of media, you will know that the game was a huge disappointment to almost everyone. Ubisoft called this game a Quad A experience, and well, that's a hefty claim. One, to just make up a new term for your own game, and two, claiming that this game surpasses anything of a AAA quality level. Right now, Skull and Bones has been out for around 6 months. It's gone through 2 seasons, just about to enter its 3rd. I bought the game midway through Season 2, just out of pure curiosity for myself, to see if it was a disaster like everyone was saying it was, and I also like getting trophies in Ubisoft games. The game is a live service because isn't it always? So battle passes, premium store bundles and events are all present. The season I jumped in on was disappointing to say the least for me. But seasons change and the next one at least looks vaguely interesting. Will I play it? No idea, but we'll see. The game starts off with a message to be kind to everyone, not cheat, and don't be a dickhead. Considering the context of the game, being a pirate, that is pretty amusing. Gameplay wise, we have a third person naval combat game with crafting elements. You start the game off creating your own pirate, and begin your adventure in a miniature ship after being shipwrecked, eventually working your way towards a better ship, then progressing into an even bigger and better and more effective ship. Ships come in all different shapes and sizes, with varying roles, tank, DPS and support, making the ships as easy as finding the different crafting materials, as long as you have the blueprint for said ship. So look what you need, where it is, and go harvest some wood. Feeling piratey yet? This is how you gain a lot of your equipment, from weapons, armor upgrades, to additions to the ship. Some items will also be obtainable by finding ships and trade routes that carry the certain items and asking kindly for them. The game does offer quite a nice variety of weaponry for the ships, from your regular cannons, sniper cannons, to mortars, rockets and flamethrowers. You get these by obtaining blueprints from either vendors or drops. Each of the equipment items also has a nice coloured rarity, so we are in the Ubisoft fun zone. Your ships also have a power level, being increased by obtaining higher levels of equipment. Other than weapons and armour, the game also has something called furniture for your ships. These will give you passive buffs and things like that. The weapons, as I say, are a nice variety. It's nice to have something more than just cannons. The combat itself is pretty fun, the weapons feel good to use as long as you're not undergeared for a fight, and sinking ships is quite satisfying. Boarding them, not so much. Boarding is the more profitable option when it comes to looting. You get more loot boarding as opposed to just sinking the enemy, but it's not very fun. Each enemy ship has a weak point of sorts that you want to be focusing. I bet you can't tell where that is. Each weapon can also give the enemy some sort of debuff, like flooding or tearing. Controlling the ships feel off. It controls fine, but it doesn't feel like I'm controlling a large ship. It just feels like I'm driving a car. Also has a sprint meter. I'm not sure what else to say about a boat having a sprint meter, but we'll move on. Car feeling, ship driving aside, it's quite nice to sail around the various areas. The world is split up into 3 main areas, the 2 zones filled with land being the Indies and Africa I believe, and the bit in between is the open seas, where it can be very rainy and the waves are huge. It's actually quite fun just to sail through this bit and have some ship battles in the rain. Other than ship combat and sailing the high seas, you can explore islands with treasure maps, which are just located in random spots on an island, and it doesn't feel like much of a treasure hunt outside of just wandering around the island, hoping something glows. You can either take contracts to move goods around, or do it yourself to make some money. Various NPCs will also offer quests to retrieve items or kill certain enemy ships, and there are also contracts that will offer bounties for high level ships. Other activities include some world events such as convoys or bosses to fight, some of which will include the form of sea monsters, and this game does have that over Sea of Thieves. It has more monsters than just one shark in varying colours. These bosses can be quite a challenge if your ship isn't maxed out and you are alone, which, well, you probably will be. World events in this game don't seem to be populated, in my experience. The game does have another form of content with its empire building. Once you've reached the rank of Kingpin, you'll unlock the endgame activity. Here you will be required to capture manufactories which over time will generate currency called Pieces of 8. This currency is used to buy materials and cosmetics at different vendors. Capturing manufactories may also put you into a PvP duel to the death, where you have to capture it before your enemies do. So far I have seen people in these more than the world events, and I have swiftly left because they scare me with their big guns and giant numbers. I've not dabbled too much in this mode as it resets on a season change, but it does seem like it's something to do at the end game, as well as fighting boss monsters and doing the contracts. Oh, and I almost forgot, there's a whole brewery area where you make booze, sell booze, raid ships to get things to make booze. Only ever went in there if I needed to. But hey, it's something extra, I guess. Doing all these various activities will give you currency to spend on weapon blueprints, ship cosmetics, and outfits for your pirate. The ship customization is nice. I do like putting all the different items on the ship for a fancy look, and you can also have fireworks. Ooh, I'm having fun. So compared to games like Black Flag, Sea of Thieves, and My Hopes and Dreams, the general gameplay loop of this game is disappointing. It works and is fine, and it will definitely appeal to some people who just enjoy ship combat, but comparing it to what I hoped it would be, disappointing. In this game, when you go to an area of interest like a town or an island, this is what happens. How very Starfield. What about shipwrecks? Okay, now what about boarding ships? Everything you do in this game is underwhelming, almost mobile phone-esque. Again, comparing to the likes of Black Flag, boarding was an epic event, finding shipwrecks was a fun thing, and something to do, and finding islands you jumped off your ship and swam there. Granted, I hated this and it grew tedious, but still, this game feels so stripped back from all of the other games that are doing the pirate thing, and have seemingly done them well. You can also hunt in this game to tie it with Ubisoft's trademark crafting animal hunting obsession, and it's too much of a hassle to even care about. You have to use the small ship to hunt, as it's the only ship with a spear, but you can't just store it on your bigger ship in like an inventory. You have to go to a port, which you have to sail to, then swap to your little ship, then sail out to where you want to hunt. It's just needlessly time wasty. Just let me put it on the back of my ship, inside my pet, or let me just drag it behind me. Anything but, oh, here's a spot to hunt that my ship can't fit through, time to sail back, grab my little boat that's incredibly fragile, and take 10 years to drive all the way back to stab a crocodile in the face with a spear, and then sail all the way back to grab my big boat to deliver said materials. Graphically, the game is fine. Environments in a certain way can look amazing at times, but when it comes down to it, it's okay. Water does not look nearly as good as it should though. Looks more like something you should be seeing at a distance, and not 90% of your viewing experience. Sound is also fine. We have sea shanties. Overall, Skull and Bones is a disappointing game after a 10-year wait, for me at least. The combat can be fun, but everything you do is so uneventful. I do think some people will enjoy this game if you enjoy naval combat in pirate ships and have others to play with. The game alone can just get lonely. Those moments where I have ended up in an event with other players, it has been quite fun. Who knows if this will be an Ubisoft game that in a few years will be popping off, but as it is right now, it's just okay. I'd say wait for a sale. It'll probably be dropping in price quite swiftly, or wait for it to appear on the likes of PS Plus. It does have a trial, so you can have a little sneak peek of the game if you so choose. Though it is only 6 hours long and you'll probably spend most of it harvesting wood. So thank you for watching this piratey video, and I will see you next time.